They said love could not cross the river. They said blood remembered its enemies. They said some clans were born to hate each other forever. And in the land of Akanma, no hatred ran deeper than the one between the Umuko clan and the Isagbi clan. For over 100 seasons, their soil had drunk blood. For over 100 seasons, mothers had buried sons whose only crime was being born on the wrong side of the land. Songs were written about the war. Children were taught to hate before they were taught to speak. And yet, in a time when the drums of war had grown quiet but the hatred remained alive, two hearts met. Not knowing they carried the weight of generations. This is the story of Adaeze of Umuko and Obinna of Isagbi. This is the story of a love that threatened to burn two clans to the ground. Long before Adaeze was born, before Obinna took his first breath, there was peace. Umuko and Isagbi were once brother clans, separated only by the river Oshiri. They shared markets, marriages, festivals, and harvest songs. Elders say there was a time when no one remembered which clan owned which land. But peace is fragile. One season of famine came like a curse. Crops failed. Rivers dried. Hunger crept into homes like a silent thief. Then, one night, a sacred yamban belonging to Umuko was burned to ashes. The Umuko elders accused Isagbi of sabotage. Isagbi denied it. Before the truth could be found, blood was spilled. A young Umuko hunter was killed near the river. In revenge, Isagbi warriors attacked a farmstead. That single spark became a wildfire. What began as accusation turned into war. What began as war turned into tradition. Children grew up hearing only one story. The other clan is evil. By the time peace was declared decades later, no one remembered the truth, only the hatred. And so the elders made laws. No Umuko must marry Isagbi. No Isagbi must trade with Umuko. Anyone who crossed the river without permission would be punished. The river Oshiri became more than water. It became a boundary of blood. Adaeze was born on a night of rain and thunder. The women of Umuko whispered that such children were destined for greatness or sorrow. She grew into a young woman with gentle eyes and quiet strength. She was known for her kindness, her laughter, and her stubborn belief that people were not born evil. Her father, Okri, was a respected elder, a man hardened by the war. He had lost two brothers to Isagbi blades. Her mother, Nkiru, was softer but careful. She loved her daughter fiercely and feared the world even more fiercely. From childhood, Adaeze was warned. Never cross the river. Never speak to Isagbi. Never ask questions about the past. But Adaeze asked questions anyway. Why did hatred last longer than truth? Why were children punished for wars they never fought? The elders called her foolish. Her friends called her naive. Yet she listened. And that curiosity would change everything. Across the river, Obinna grew up in Isagbi. He was tall, thoughtful, and carried sorrow in his silence. His father had died when Obinna was a child, killed during one of the last clashes near the border. His mother, Amoka, raised him alone. She taught him strength, but also restraint. Hate will eat you alive, she once told him. But love without wisdom will kill you faster. Obinna became a skilled carver, shaping wood into masks and symbols for festivals. His hands created beauty, even though his heart carried pain. Unlike other young men, Obinna did not dream of war or revenge. He dreamed of peace. And that dream made him dangerous in his own way. It happened on a forbidden day. The annual full moon market was held at a neutral ground near the river, one of the few times both clans were allowed near each other under strict rules. Adaeze went with her mother to sell palm oil. Obinna went with his uncle to sell carvings. Their eyes met across a crowded path. Just a glance. But sometimes, that is enough. Adaeze noticed his calm, how he didn't shove or shout like others. Obinna noticed her smile, soft, unguarded, dangerous. They passed without speaking. But fate is persistent. Later that day, Adaeze dropped her basket. Palm oil spilled across the dust. People laughed. Obinna stepped forward instinctively. As he helped her, their hands touched. The world seemed to pause. Then voices rose. Isagbi. Umuko. They pulled apart like they'd been burned. Adaeze ran. Obinna stood frozen. That night, neither slept. They met again. And again. Always by accident. Or so they told themselves. At the river's edge. At the forest path. At dawn, when elders slept. At first, they spoke of nothing important. The weather. The market. The old songs. Then they spoke of dreams. Adaeze dreamed of a land without fear. Obinna dreamed of carving a mask that would end war. They laughed. They listened. They fell in love. But love between forbidden clans is never innocent. Each meeting was a risk. Each touch, a betrayal. Each smile, a possible death sentence. Still, they returned. Because love, once born, refuses silence. One evening, Obinna revealed something that shook Adaeze. My mother once told me, the war began with a lie. He explained that his father had discovered the truth before he died, that the bonfire was accidental, caused by lightning. But powerful men had twisted the story to gain land and authority. Adaeze's heart pounded. Her father had once mentioned something similar, but dismissed it as dangerous talk. If the truth came out, peace was possible. But exposing the truth would anger elders on both sides, men who had built power on hatred. And those men did not forgive easily. Secrets do not stay buried forever. One morning, Adaeze's cousin followed her. He saw her cross the forbidden path. He saw Obinna. By sunset, the village knew. Adaeze was dragged before the Umuko elders. Her father's face was stone. Is it true? He asked. She did not lie. Yes. The elders erupted. They demanded punishment. Death was mentioned. Exile was suggested. Okori stood slowly. She is my daughter, he said. Let me decide. That night, Adaeze was locked inside her hut. Across the river, Obinna was beaten. War drums began to sound again. Obinna's uncle warned him. They will kill you. Leave tonight. But Obinna refused. I will not run from love. Adaeze escaped with her mother's help. She ran to the river. They met in the rain. For the first time, they spoke of marriage. But hope arrived too late. Warriors surrounded them. Arrows flew. Blood spilled. Obinna shielded Adaeze. He fell. As his blood touched the soil between clans, something shifted. The elders arrived. Silence fell. Adaeze screamed. Obinna smiled weakly. Tell them the truth, he whispered. Promise me. He died. Adaeze did not break. She stood before both clans. She spoke of the lie. She spoke of the fire. She spoke of men who benefited from war. Obinna's mother stepped forward. She confirmed it. Old witnesses came out. The truth shattered generations of lies. The elders wept. The river Oshiri flowed quietly. Peace was declared, too late for Obinna. Adaeze never married. She became a storyteller. She told children the truth, not hatred. A tree grew where Obinna died. They called it the tree of broken hatred. And to this day, elders say, love ended the war, but at a terrible cost. Hatred survives on silence. Truth is dangerous, but necessary. And love. Love is powerful enough to change the world. Even when it cannot save itself.